Hi there everyone, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us for another F1 Manager live stream. I'm Ian, Senior Community Manager for F1 Manager, and I'm joined by Josie, who is waving at you now. Thanks for joining everyone. Can you hear us all alright out there in the chat?
I think so.
Yeah?
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get some confirmation, because I know we've had some audio issues in the past.
Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds
Yeah,
good. We're all
cool.
good. Yeah.
Alright then. Okay, so yeah, during this live stream, we're going to go through some of the cool stuff that's been happening with F1 Manager recently. Namely the big season score hub update that happened last week. So we're going to take a quick look at that. We're also going to do some qualifying in our currently running third community Grand Prix, which is the Italian Grand Prix. So we're going to play through that in a bit. We're also going to do some giveaways. So we're going to give away some legendary crates, which is really exciting. And yeah, I think Josie's going to try and field some of your questions, of which I'm sure there are many, like usual.
Yeah, that's right. So thanks for everybody who's liking the stream right now. Thanks to Mattia Binotto for liking the stream. Great to see you here. Obviously not too busy right now. You can watch our streams. And
yes.
NICK has liked the stream, so thank you very much as well. And yeah, Ian's going to do the Grand Prix, and I'm going to help out by answering a few questions. We get so many, so I'll try to get to you all. But if I missed your question, it's almost definitely an accident. So yeah, sorry about that. Just keep posting, and we'll keep going.
So what I think I should do first of all, Josie, is maybe just explain a bit how the giveaway is going to go, because maybe some people weren't here for the last stream. So we're going to run it via Gleam, and I'm going to be posting a link shortly in the chat. And what you have to do is click on that link, and then you'll see a web page with a list of instructions, list of tasks for you to do. And basically each one of those tasks that you do gives you one entry into the giveaway. And if you complete all of the tasks, it will give you an additional task at the end, which will give you 5 bonus entries. So yeah, the more tasks you complete, the more entries you get, and subsequently the better chance you get of winning a legendary crate. So yeah, let me post that link quickly in the chat for you. I will post it again at various points throughout the stream, but here we go. Bear with me.
Woo!
Can you see it?
I can see it.
Okay, yeah, so I think that's posted everywhere it needs to be now. So I suppose, without further ado, shall I get cracking, Josie? Should we have a look at the season score hub quickly before getting into qualifying?
Have a look at that. Yeah,
let me just open that up. Apologies for my low score in advance. Right, so there it is. So you see I have about nearly half the CC points earned. We have various different milestones for you to take part in and hopefully complete. You've been playing the game a lot. These are drivers, driver upgrades, components, component grades, weekly leagues, how many event medals you get from Grand Prix, your highest Grand Prix event position, the highest series reached, your total race count, and your total win count. Yeah, so let me just click on drivers quickly. There's a few ones that I've maxed out. So yeah, basically you get season score points depending on how many drivers you've unlocked. For me, I've unlocked them all, so I get the maximum 20 out of 20 and the maximum number of CC points earned for that particular metric. And what CC points do is they allow you to rank up in certain milestones. So you can see I'm about halfway through, and as a result I've unlocked all of these CC points. And also when the new season starts, if I don't upgrade, if I don't get any higher, I get a gold crate upon the beginning of the new season, which is pretty cool. I really want to get up a bit higher, so I get one of these cool bronze frames, and also a 1 month crate reduction timer, which would be pretty cool. So I've got a little bit of work to do there, but yeah, this goes up quite high, and right at the top echelons you can get things, really cool things like a legendary crate when you start the new season, a 25% crate reduction timer that lasts you the whole season, which is pretty cool. I mean, that goes up to 50% if you get 100%, which takes some going, but it is achievable if you play a lot. And one thing I should just quickly mention, because we had some feedback about it from you guys out there in the community, it's about these 2 bottom metrics for race count and race wins. Some of you may have noticed that the values are very, very high, pretty almost unobtainable. And yeah, that's because when we initially set these, it was based on us being able to track data going back all the way to like last May when the season started. We've since found out that we've only got the data for these two metrics starting from February. So as a result, we're going to be making some adjustments in the future to these milestones. I think the changes are going to be for the top two for 100% and 80%. 100% is going to be reduced down to, I think it's, let me just double check. Yep, down to 2,000. This is for both race count and race wins. And 80% is being reduced down to 500. So a lot more obtainable. Okay. Right. Should I maybe open a crate and get into some qualifying, Josie? Or do you want to field some questions perhaps about Season Score Hub if there are any?
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. So a couple of follows. Thank you very much for that. And we've got some questions from Cyber Viper X99 saying, please make an update for the new season. Yes, we are. And that's what the season score thing that Ian was just looking at is for, because in the near future, we will be releasing the 2021 season update. I believe we've revealed to the community it'll come out in May.
Yes, around mid-May. We don't have an exact date to give you just yet, but as soon as we know, we will let you know.
Yep.
Just quickly while I've got you there, Josie, it's worthwhile just pointing out here on the game screen something new that came in with the last update, which is a cool crate summary.
Oh, yes. I'd forgotten about that.
Yep.
So that's very handy if you're a spam tapper like me, that you can just get through to the end of the crate and take a look at the summary.
Yeah, maybe not so important if you're opening up a free crate with only like 3 assets in. Bit easy to remember, but if you've got a legendary crate with a lot of different assets in there, it's pretty handy having a nice summary at the end of it just to tell you exactly everything that you got. So yeah. Very nice addition.
Jane is asking when the season ends. So the plan is that we will go straight from 2020 season into the 2021 season over the course of about a day. That's what happened last time. So we're expecting it to be a similar formula this time round. So we should go straight from one season into the next.
Okay. Just upgrading a part here quickly, Josie. I think could prove useful.
That's cool. Hello, Hassan. First time you're here. Welcome to the stream. We're here for probably another 50 minutes or so to qualify for the Italian Community Grand Prix. Nice drivers. I'm just seeing those on your screen there.
If I remember rightly, last time around I didn't actually do too bad, did I, Josie?
I think you were okay, yeah.
I think I might have won either 4 or 5 out of 5. So yeah, right, 54% chance of rain. Sounds like a Hamilton race, maybe, with his wet weather ability.
I think my Facebook chat's broken because I'm seeing things in the stream chat that I'm not seeing in real.
Phantom chat.
Yep, it was absolutely broken. Now I can see the chat. Oh, sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, so people are talking about Hamilton. Sentinel Millie Artifacts is asking, the only chance for a good qualifying result for Hamilton is the rain. Not fair. Yep, so Hamilton has got a big buff on, well, not big buff, he's got a very high wet weather stat, I should say. And yeah, that's super important. And as we've seen from his recent performances, his wet weather performance is just wonderful. So that's the chief reason why he performs so well in the wet. Basit Ali is asking why the pits are getting cancelled. So I've heard a couple of whispers, but only recently, about pits, although I thought it was the opposite, that pits, when you cancel them, it's not always on. So I'll have to check up on that one. I imagine that if there's been some support tickets, it's already being looked at. Also, a car setup of reliability, 58 to 64, got one breakdown over... each over 5 qualifying rounds for the Italian GP. That sounds very unfortunate, but thankfully you do have 2 more tries. That just sounds like a bit of bad luck. I think we'll be able to do a bit better going forward, don't worry. Scott Osborne is saying that we didn't paste the giveaway link in the Facebook stream chat.
I did, but I'd imagine it's quite fast moving, so it might have got missed. Tell you what, let me just quickly do that again for you. I'll post it everywhere I can. There
Thank
you
you. Alessandro Amorino is asking, when you came up with the idea for doing 10,000 races for the top milestone, were you under the influence of drugs? If not, then you're favoring the multi-device players. So congrats. Yep. That is why we changed the milestones. We've done it internally, but that will be rolled out in the near future because yes, the data gathering on that was incorrect. We thought we were going to be able to log all of your races from last May, but in fact we could only log them from February just gone. So that will be rectified in the near future. I apologize that my answer wasn't in Italian because I can't speak Italian. Hopefully you understood.
Oh, Josie. I made a boo-boo. I was too busy posting Gleam links and I missed a pit stop window for Hamilton. Damn.
Oh no, and it's raining.
Yeah. He's puttering along with 0% tyres.
Oh, yeah, you got to really pay attention on this one because the chance of rain is really high.
And now he's going to stack up with Vettel in the pits.
Thank
I'm
you,
not
Ryan
a good multitasker.
Imperial. That's okay. Ryan Imperial saying they really love the game, but they still hate losing. Yeah, thank you for your support, Ryan. Zedada is asking if there'll be a delay between Android and iOS users for the new season update. As with most of our rollouts, we will try and get them done as close together as possible, which basically means they should be getting done at the same time, especially because when we make the season change, our servers will only accept traffic from the new version once we push the button. So yeah, obviously the rate of rollout for the two platforms is slightly different based on their own infrastructure. But once we push the button, it should get out to you very soon. Ballerino asks, will we have one day where all Epic drivers and car parts are available to purchase? I'm missing a couple to max out and I'd like to do it for my collection. Yeah, as we did last season, the Grand Prix events that are towards the end of the season might have double rewards, which will mean that you'll have a better chance to pick up some stuff. And additionally, I think we've got some other things planned to help you bolster up your collection, but I can't talk too much else on that right now. Tonic B5 says new season. Yep, there's a new season on the way. It's planned for release in the middle of May, but the date is not confirmed. Hassan asks how we are. I'm pretty good.
I'm doing all right, thanks, Hassan.
Good, yeah.
Be better if I hadn't missed that pit stop.
Yeah. Elle asks, hola español, and the answer to that is no, sorry. Simone asks, hi, I have a question. Apart from an update of the pilots, will there be something new and different in the update? So the new season will, alongside the new drivers, will come with all new car parts. I believe that and that means, of course, a completely new game balance. We're also going to make some changes to the seasons to the series. I get those words mixed up all the time. So the series will be changed, which hopefully will please a good few people with some fun content. And yeah, I think there are a couple of other things, but I'm not too sure how many of those I can talk about. So I'll have to keep that back. Hassan asks, I have a question. Was the 44-lap glitch at Spa-Francorchamps in the Equinox event a qualifying round intentional or just a glitch? So what happened there was a few months ago, I was doing a closed test where I tried changing the number of laps to a full-length race because a lot of people were asking about it. The reason that we were doing that is because we were trying to see how many of our systems would automatically scale to the length of the full race to see if we could actually make it a viable alternative as like either for an event or a second game mode. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out. as you may have noticed, if you did that 44 lap glitched race, then it ended after about 20 laps because there's a 20-minute kill switch on races so that you can't be a victim of a troll or a soft lock. So that meant, yeah, that didn't work. And then that track configuration was accidentally left in and ended up getting used for an event inadvertently. So it was an accident more than it was a glitch.
But what was
wrong.
interesting was how many
we just
people
used something wrong.
What was interesting was how many people were saying this is really cool, these longer races. So that's something that we found very interesting, and yeah, we're looking at that, aren't we, Josie? No promises, but we did see with interest how excited players found that, having some longer races. Anyway, I'm just about to do a quick trade before my next race.
Yep, no problem.
I think I'm
just trade in some Latifi.
Yeah, get some. Yeah, I think like a lot of people trading in some Latifi. I think I'm going to get some keeper. What do you reckon here, Josie? I've nearly got Hamilton up to level 5, and he's available in the asset market. And I do have a few bucks lying around.
Yeah, of course you should.
What do you reckon? Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're using him.
Yeah, let's do it.
So why wouldn't you upgrade him? Okay, lots of questions pouring in. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to them all. Stefan Vesterlund asks, I have a distinct feeling that overtaking has become harder. Some AI are really blocking as if their poor artificial life depends on it. Do I imagine it, or have there been any changes in that area? As far as I know, there wasn't a change in the latest update. No, yeah, there hasn't been any changes. So I'm afraid I don't know what could be causing that. Of course, there are sort of like small improvements and optimizations to the simulation code all the time, though we always check them rigorously for side effects, and we haven't found any this time, so I think we're okay. Hassan says, for 8-lap races, here's a great strat. If you qualify in the top 10, start on softs, conserve for 3 laps on green, and then on lap 3 pit for hards. Just before entering the pit lane, start boosting on red. Yep, that's a relatively well-known one-stop strat. Not bad at all. Gaming Teddy Bear asks, is there an idea to introduce team orders when you drive on softs? Needs to pass the slower driver on hard tyres. So we did make a change at some point to make it easier for teammates to pass each other, I think. But of course, if your drivers, they're still very self-entitled and they will want to fight, so can't necessarily say. Shan Patel is asking, I keep disconnecting from games, can you help me? I would say definitely try and create a support ticket on that, because generally speaking, that is going to be the best way to get help when it comes to things like connection issues. Oh, so many questions on my brain.
I did say it might be a busy one today, Jose.
TR the Flash says, double rewards is nice, but not if it's in duplicates. Any chance those drops could be guaranteed to be not duplicate? At the moment, the whole reason that we have an asset trading system is because that configuration doesn't look to be possible. So I'm afraid they could well be duplicates if you've got so much maxed out. But we have the asset trading system, so you can trade a few things in if you like. Sven Koch is saying 50% of the Facebook quotes are only when the new season starts. Yep, everybody wants to know. Hadrick Split 1911 has a lot of questions. Are you planning to fix overtaking? I was racing in Melbourne, the rain poured from the start. However, in the middle of the race, the sun appeared and the track dried. All drivers missed the pit, but my driver on fresh soft tyres couldn't overtake AI Raikkonen on wet tyres for half a lap. We've heard about this. A lot of people have told us that when there are different tyre compounds in play, that overtaking is difficult. We've done a lot of closed tests and simulations, and we think that the opportunity for drivers to pass is adequate, though of course I do appreciate that when you're on a tyre difference and the weather has changed like that, that the authenticity of those moves is questionable. That's true. Yeah, everyone was saying that you should upgrade to Hamilton 5. Enamor is asking, will we be able next season to do trades from rare and epic cards to epic cards? As far as I know, the asset trading system doesn't have any planned changes in terms of what can be traded for what. So if you've maxed out all of your Yeah, if you've maxed out all of your epics and all, then I would say you're in a very good position anyway. You probably will max out everything else pretty soon. Ballerino asks, any plans to completely restructure GP events for next season? Better distribution of rewards, number of players, or smaller groups? We do have some innovations to GP events planned. We can't talk about them just yet, but we do have a couple of interesting things that we will do to shake up events next season. I think the Facebook chat has broken for me again. Let me refresh.
Oh dear.
Oh, there we go.
You get it back?
Chad gone. Yeah, I mean, I can see it again, but I think I might just have to refresh the Facebook every 5 minutes. Chad Gonzalez says, any plans to remove breakdown from the game? It's the worst part of the game. Yep, the breakdowns are pretty frustrating. I think especially in the early game when the reliability stats of your parts are low. But one thing that you can do is, of course, optimize your strategy towards having a loadout with a higher reliability level. Generally speaking, breakdowns are relatively rare, but they also don't have that big an effect. So for the most part, they're not going to ruin your race, especially if you pit regularly. So yeah, I think you might just need to make some changes to your strat, maybe. Kevin KD is asking who we think is going to win the 2021 F1 Championship, Hamilton or Verstappen? Only Hamilton or Verstappen are eligible in this question. I don't know. What do you think, Ian?
I'm going to go Hamilton. I have a feeling this might be his last season at Mercedes, and I think that might be extra motivation for him to go out with a bang.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that he would retire or move to another team?
He's too used to winning. I can't see him moving to, unless there's, a team that comes out of nowhere. I can't see him moving really and moving back into the chasing pack.
So you sort of want him to go out on top?
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
What about you? It would be interesting to see, say Verstappen win though, just to shake things up a bit. See the young guard come through.
As a neutral, I'm supporting the forces of chaos. So, frankly, I don't really mind, provided that there's a good fight. Gerard Kelly asks, are we going to lower the percentage of total games played and total win count? I heard it's only taking into account games since Feb. Yes, you are correct. So a change is on its way. I don't know whether it will come out sooner than the next major update or not, but yes, you're right. That number will be changing. Mark Watkins asks, is there a code in the game that raises the chance of breakdowns in a Grand Prix? I hardly get any breakdowns in duels, but lots in events. No, there is no bias in terms of where breakdowns happen. So I'm afraid that might just be a bit of a perception problem there. Obviously, with only 5 qualifiers and 10 opening rounds and 10 all-out round races, I guess if you see a breakdown in that, then it looks like a bigger slice of a small pie. But no, there's no bias at all. God, okay. So many questions. I'm trying really hard. Saturnile Miliartifacts asks, but why just at a wet course? Hamilton is at level 5, not better than Albon. Sorry, I must admit that I've already forgotten what your previous thing was because I'm answering so many questions. But I think you're talking about just what Hamilton's performance being underpowered, because Hamilton is by far the best driver in the game for most for most disciplines. So I think Hamilton's probably a pretty good choice.
Well, I don't know how I've managed it, Josie. Despite missing key pit stops in both the first 2 races, I've come out with 2 wins.
Wow, well done.
Luck rather than design, I think.
Andrei Voskrau asks, hello, are there any plans to introduce team orders? Yeah, so at the moment, a full-on team order thing isn't planned, but we do have some special changes that make it so that it's easier for your teammates to pass each other. Where is it? Oh yeah, and medium tires as a third dry option. So we've talked about this before. A lot of people really want medium tires, and they also want inters. We've decided against adding them because we want the number of strategic choices in your gameplay to be simple. The complexity comes from the fact that you have to manage 2 drivers. So generally, we think that we're comfortable with the 2 dry compound system, even if it's not 100% authentic to real F1. Willie Nell says a warm welcome from South Africa. First time joining. I normally live stream games like PUBG and COD on mobile. Thinking of adding this game to my streams. Just love it.
Oh, wow.
Thanks. Yeah, that's great.
Well, if you do decide to stream F1 Manager, we do actually have a creator program at Hutch, and we are accepting applications. So, head on over to the Discord, look at the announcements channel and find out some more information about that if you're interested. And that goes to all you guys out there streaming. We'd be pleased to take a look at your streams and have you aboard.
Yep. Okay, I'm trying to get to all these questions. There are so many. Oh no, my Facebook chat has reset. Where am I? Oh, this is so irritating. Okay, I found it. Ashley Bootle is asking, any chance of bringing up drivers from previous years like Coulthard and Hakkinen and MSC? At the moment, we cannot handle a legacy driver system like the one that you're talking. Not legacy, that's a thing. Legendary or whatever it is, like a previous driver system. Reason being that the licenses for those drivers would have to be negotiated individually with their estates, since they're not current F1 drivers. That essentially makes it quite a prohibitive job. It would be a lot of work. We get lots of people asking about it, and we would love to do it, but it is an awful lot of work to make that happen. Marco Piacentini is asking, hey guys, how many events are we looking forward to before the end of the season? Are we looking to play every week, or are we going to have a weekend off? During the weeks that we push the button and do the update, there probably won't be a Grand Prix event.
That's right.
Yeah. So there will be 1 week off. However, going forward, we are looking at having some sort of Grand Prix event every week. Nicholas Curtis asked, when the new season starts, I read if you do well this season, you'll be able to get early access to new season stuff. How well is well? So if you were watching earlier, we opened up the CC School Hub, which is a way for you to find out how many CC points you will earn. And so what that usually does is for sort of an average player, like I was milestone 10 out of 20 when the 2020 season started. And I think I had enough CC points saved up to buy I feel like I unlocked a driver or 2 early and got some parts upgraded nicely. So it will give you just a little bit of an edge. And of course, if you're one of the top level players, you'll get even more stuff. Gerard Kelly says, love this game. Don't mind splashing out a few pounds on it. What I can't stand is playing the same 4 tracks over and over again in the high risk series. Is there a plan to open all the tracks once you reach the highest series? Thanks. Yep, so when the 2021 season starts, there will be a reprofiling of the series system. And one of the things that a lot of people have said is that they want to have all of the tracks in the top series. I believe that innovation is going ahead, all things going to plan. So that should be music to a lot of people's ears, that they'll have more options to play in the top series. Marco Piacentini is asking, are we going to know in advance about the new car parts and drivers? So last season, I remember we revealed the drivers' stats before the season came out. Of course, that's completely dependent on how much time we have to produce the graphics and get them out in time. So I'm not sure if that's planned. Do you know, Ian?
I was just about to say, we do plan to do that, yes.
There you go.
Which is good news. Yep.
That's a teamwork there. I learned something.
And if we have the time and if we can get the graphics ready, we might do the same for components this time around as well.
Oh, really? Cool. That'll be good.
Yep.
Natty Dread stays flying says, do you get CC points per 1 trillion? So if you got 3 trillion, would you get CC points 3 times? No, that isn't how it works. So the milestone is capped and fixed. So if you go past the top milestone, you just get the top prize one time. Basit Ali says, please include one series where all tracks are playable. Yeah, so I just talked about that. It's on the agenda. Hopefully it will be supported. Oh, there's so much. Ryan Imperial says, please make Alonso, Leclerc and Hamilton strong drivers in the new season. Haha. Yep, I imagine that Hamilton and Leclerc will definitely be very strong drivers. And if I get my way, I'm sure that Alonso will be quite talented too. Since I'm a classic Alonso fan from his first stint in F1, particularly when he was fighting Michael Schumacher for titles in the mid-2000s. That's when I really got into F1 for the first time. So soft spot for Alonso.
If you had your way, Josie, which driver from last year would get the biggest stat bump? Who do you think deserves it the most?
George Russell.
George Russell?
Yeah. Like he already, his stock has increased every year that he's been in F1 Manager. So in his first season, he was like a relatively low level common, and he's made his way up to being like a, what is he, the Series 2 rare or something. So I would like to see him get a bit of a bump, but obviously I have no idea how far that bump would go, and there are tons of talented drivers in F1, and it's very hard to put them in order, in any order. So yeah, we always get people saying, like, why did you make this order? And honestly, it's because at the end of the day, you have to make interpretive decisions, and maybe you disagree with those decisions, but that's okay. Europe Shauren is asking, what about the safety car? Will you try to make that more realistic? I think we are changing it so that safety cars happen a little bit more often, because they used to happen a lot and now they don't happen really at all. So you may see some more safety cars in the future. John Bristow asks, are there any plans for us to trade boosts? I have too many dead fasts, but could really do with some downforce. Thanks. At the moment, asset trading for boosts is not a thing because they can't be upgraded. There's no plan for any kind of boost trading feature, although it's not a bad plan. James Turner asks what asset trading is. What that is if you've got an asset that is fully upgraded, and then you get enough assets from crates to take it, like, what is it, a whole upgrade level past the maximum. Oh no, so it's like a fixed number based on its rarity, I remember now. Then you get the ability to trade it in for a different kind of asset based on a fixed exchange rate, which is based on its rarity. That menu only appears if you have an asset maxed out with the surplus assets required. So that might be one you've not seen it yet. Marco Piacentini says, at the last update, AI definitely became smarter with the bot rival boosting all of the last lap. Yes, we did make some changes to how the bot rivals work. We can talk about that in a minute, but yes, you will notice that they are a little bit more of a challenge, especially for you big boys out there who are very fast and very talented at the game. Yeah, but it seems to definitely be necessary, and at least for now, we've seen that it hasn't really changed the win rate of the top players that much. Natty Dread Stays Flying is asking if there's an official date for the start of the new season. The season update is scheduled for mid-May, though it's not exactly decided on which day it will be, so keep an eye out. So many questions. Oh my gosh. Ballerino says, any plans to fully obscure the rival when you are matched? Bots are harder to spot now, but people can still abuse the GP by dueling their second account / friend's account. Yep, so we are looking at some ways to make it, again, like you said, less obvious that you're facing off against a bot, because in an ideal circumstance, you shouldn't be able to take advantage of the matchmaking system and the AI to get easy wins. I can't comment on any other changes that we have planned, but we're looking into it. Ernamore wants Sebastian Vettel to be the best driver next season. I want Seb, bless him, I want him to still be an epic. I hope that I get my wish. We'll have to see. during his Ferrari career, I definitely developed a soft spot for Seb. So yeah, maybe. Obviously, I can't say whether he'll be the best. Oh my goodness. Pickle Monkey asked what happened to safety cars. Yeah, they got less common this year, and we're trying to make them a little bit more common again. So keep an eye out. Killiam EXE says that we're a fun community to stream to. Thank you very much. I'm really glad that we've got some fun fans. Haj Duk Split 1911 is asking, my suggestion is to maybe implement 2 things. Number 1, race replays for the last 10 races. Not a bad plan. It would probably be a little bit of storage space on your phone, but I guess that is kind of cool. Number 2, preset car tunes so that we can shuffle between car tunes for GP events and duels. Yeah, a lot of people have talked about that. It's definitely on our radar, but we have no plans yet. Killiam EXE asks, what if you ran the weekly league with a track list mirroring the weekly Grand Prix? Oh, I see. So there's like an extra series on top? Oh, that would break up the series 12 monotony without adding huge randomness of having every track. Oh, I see. Okay, that's a very interesting idea, although of course then the track configurations, even if they're changing every week, they're going to be fixed too, so... yeah, I guess it's a different interpretation. Definitely a harder one to implement. I'm not sure what we would do with that, but thank you. Hajduk Split 1911 says that they like the fast pit time tune. They use the feather, the getaway, the blinker, and the bungee. Yep, there's definitely a strategy which involves having a minimized pit time.
What were those components again?
Feather, getaway, blinker, and bungee.
Okay. Well, I don't have the bungee. I don't have the blinker. Annoying. I need to pick me up, Josie, because I lost my last race.
Oh no, you can do it. I don't know what you want. Hajduk also likes George Russell. TR the Flash is saying that Bottas and Vettel definitely need to be lower end epics. And they're saying that they would drop Vettel from the epics. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about. That's the interpretation, the opinion. He's definitely been struggling for the last year and a half. We are fully aware of that. So yeah, we'll see what happens to him. I just like him, you know, as a person. So I'd like to keep him in Epic, but obviously liking him as a person is not a good enough reason for the team to make a balanced decision. Pickle Monkey is asking how you can tell if your rival is a bot. Well, that information is floating around, but the whole point of trying to obfuscate that in some of our latest changes is that we don't want you to know if your rival is a bot. You should only really be coming up against bots on a rare basis. But yeah, some people have been finding out clever tricks to work out when your rival is a bot. JVP asks, could we have a point for the fastest lap or the quickest pit stop? Yeah, we've had that suggestion before, especially the fastest lap one. It gives you just another little way to earn a couple points. At the moment, nothing's planned, but I do like it. Ballerina was asking if there are any plans for removing reliability from the quali stats. It doesn't make sense. So the reason that we've done that is to make sure that if you are optimizing for reliability, that you don't get a massive speed penalty in qualifying. Reliability is sort of the dark horse of the balance at the moment. So if you are somebody who wants to optimize for reliability in your build, it will make you slower during the race, but we decided that it was too much of a punishment to also affect your quality stats. Oh my gosh, so many questions. Lewis Hamilton says, hi, work is hard today. Yeah, let us know, man, if you got like Lots of media appearances. You got a little while for the next race, right? When is it? Is it a week from now? Or is it this weekend? I can never remember. F1 calendar. Yeah, you've got ages. A whole week and... Yeah, you've got a whole week until FP1, man. Just chill. You'll be fine. James R. Kilner is asking if the F1 2021 update comes out this month. No, it will come back in May. Come out in May, I should say. The exact date isn't fixed, but we're aiming for roughly the middle of the month. Michael Baxi Media is asking if there are any plans for boosters to actually work. They definitely do something. However, we have heard some feedback about what they do and don't achieve. So I think we're looking into something, but there's no timeline for that, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be ready for the 2021 update. Abian Ramon is saying Vettel and Bottas bad in the new season. I don't know yet. We've not really decided yet. The balance is still it's still a little bit fluid. Of course, we've made some decisions based on previous year's performance and on F1 testing, and we've now had one season with which to compare to our predictions. So far the balance is, I think, mostly together, but it could still change. James R. Kilner asking if we can have ERS overtake mode in DRS. DRS is a cool one. I think I would be quite in favor of getting DRS added to the big straights on some of the tracks, though its effect could be quite dubious. The cars seem to be relatively good at straight line overtakes anyway. The Rampage asking when the next season driver stats will be announced. We said earlier that in the run-up to the update, we're going to release some graphics that will have the stats for the new drivers. So check social media in the month of May, and you should start to see some things popping up. Mano Games says Norris is the best. Okay, thank you. That's great. Hassan says, will Perez, Ricciardo, Gasly, and Alonso be higher level epics? Can't really talk about that right now, but of course, all of those drivers seem to be relatively hot properties at this moment in time. So we'll have to see. Carlos Sainz epic level 4 or 5, says Abian Ramon. Yeah, Carlos seems to have done pretty well. Generally speaking, the winner of Best of the Rest has been a candidate for an epic in previous years. So Hulkenberg had it one year when he had been Best of the Rest the year before. Sainz had it in 2020 because he was Best of the Rest in 2019. So yeah, I can't actually remember who was Best of the Rest this year, but it might have been him. James R. Kilner says, can the first drivers you get be Tsunoda and Schumacher? Yeah, based on what we've had previously, where we always make sure that the starter drivers are either rookies or at least relatively inexperienced drivers. Tsunoda and Schumacher would be good bets for the starter drivers. But can't confirm anything just yet. We'll find out soon. People are talking about the setup. The Rampage says, will the epic drivers be similar to 2019 stats, 2020 narrow diversity? Yeah, we've seen your feedback on this as a community, that you really preferred the more diverse level of driver choices, especially in the epic department. So I believe there is a plan in place to make sure that every epic has some late game potential. So hopefully that should help to increase the amount of strategic choices you have with your driver loadout. I've just lost my point in the chat again. This is so bad. Abian Ramon says, how could you put Carlos this year as the worst epic card? Carlos sad. Yep, that's right. Carlos does seem to have gotten a little bit of a raw deal based on how the balance ended up. Poor guy. I'd like to see him have a little bit more justice done to his stats this year, but we'll just have to see. Toto thinks that the additional extra point for fastest lap would be interesting. because ties are boring. Sometimes you deserve the win, but you do a 2-3 and your opponent won 4s. Yep, that would be one way of breaking it up. So not a bad plan.
Hey Josie, can I just chip in quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that following the end of our stream, one of our community streamers, Darmaniac, is going to be doing his own F1 Manager stream straight away afterwards that we're going to be hosting on our Twitch channel. So, you know, if you haven't had enough F1 Manager at the end of our stream, feel free to stick around and check out Darmaniac's stream straight away afterwards. Cool. Close race this one, Josie. Don't know if you can see it. I'm just slightly behind, but.
Oh yeah, and I've not been paying attention to the race at all. I
need Hamilton to get some overtaking done, but he's on hard tyres. I haven't been giving this race enough due attention, I think. Too busy looking at chat.
Timon Hiddink is asking, can we make Max Verstappen's qualifying better? Right, so Max Verstappen has got some pretty good stats, although at the moment I think, oh God, I can't actually remember, but I get a feeling that his consistency is not very good. Let me look. And the reason for that is because when the balancing was done at the very beginning of 2020, before the 2020 season had begun, where is he? Drivers. Of course, the historical knowledge that we had was older. Oh, yeah, okay, so consistency is his worst stat. And the reason for that simply was because it was in fresher memory that he had such a difficult time crashing in 2018. Of course, now we've seen a more mature Verstappen driving, and definitely he seems to have made some improvements in that regard. So while I can't confirm that his consistency will be changing in the 2021 update, that is the reasoning behind it and how it was made. Fernando Emanuel Arias is saying they have to eliminate the track sweep and that the cars that handle artificial intelligence are not so hard to overcome. I don't know what a track sweep is, but the AI has definitely had a few improvements recently. The win rate against AIs, we can measure it, and it's still pretty high. So for the most part, we still think that we've done a good job on that. But yeah, we're always open to new feedback. Oh, why has that happened? I've lost my
chat freezing again. Oh dear. Right, while you find your space again, I'm just opening up a platinum crate quickly before my final qualifying race. It was a close run thing, the last one, Josie, but I managed to pit my rival by 1 position.
James R. Kilner is asking if we can add Eilert, Piastri, De Vries, Schwarzman, and John-Eric Verne, so that we can have F2 and FE drivers as well as academy drivers, and we can add them to the team. Yeah, we've obviously seen that there are plenty of drivers out there in the world, not just the 20 F1 drivers that exist in the main canon. At this time, because of the fact that we are confined specifically to full-time F1 drivers, we don't really have a way to do anything with all of the other drivers that exist out on planet Earth, as much as we would like to. So yeah, for now that does seem like it's very unlikely, I'm afraid. Benster8 is asking, you could argue that loads of drivers deserve Epic. Yep, you absolutely could. It's very hard to compare drivers. Lando's Milkman says, why is the Sainz card so bad? So the Carlos Sainz from 2020 is in the Series 1 Epic position. And the important thing to note about that is that it means, from the interpretation of the 2020 balance, that Carlos Sainz is an Epic card in the context of Series 1. That does mean, unfortunately, that Sainz's max stats aren't amazing. So that has been a big source of feedback that we've had about people wanting all of the epics to mean something in the end game. That is something that will be rectifying for 2021. Benjamin Sommer is asking when the new season comes out. The season update is due for roughly the middle of May, but the date is not confirmed. Fernando Manuel Arias is asking for more tyre compounds. We've talked about this a lot. We get it regularly, but at the moment we want the strategic simplicity that having only 2 dry compounds provides, and only 1 wet compound. Hassan says, please use sliders, bullet and sliders.
We're just having a bit of a debate in the chat about what I should use for my next race, Josie. There's some heated debate, some conflicting advice.
Okay. Rampage says epic drivers need to be useful. Yep, so that's one of the changes that we're making, is that epic drivers will be more useful for 2021. India Sports says, first thing first, give us good drivers, rares and commons so that everyone has a fair GP events. Except that the game has no meaning. 2021 we're expected to get better season that worst 2020 season. Yep, so we've had a lot of feedback, and the 2021 season should help to make sure that the drivers are a lot closer together. So not only will the epics be useful, but you'll be able to get good mileage out of your rares and epics as you pick them up too. So many questions. I'm trying my best. Oh my word. Lunatic21 is asking, are you looking to make changes to matchmaking in regards of team matchups? I'm a brand new player and I'm getting paired up against folks with 2019 teams, and I have 0 chance of winning those. Yep, so I believe that there are some plans in place to tighten up matchmaking in that respect. So hopefully you shouldn't be seeing high-level legacy teams in your matchmaking screen in the future. JPP is asking if next season we can save the settings of the car. Save loadouts is something that people have talked about a lot. At the moment, there is nothing planned, but we do want to look into it. Hajduk Split 1911 says, Gasly, Russell, Lando, Max, Charles. The future of F1 is in good hands. Yes, it is. Oh. Ballerino says, Leclerc 2 wins and 7 poles in 2019, and in 2020 was given Series 2 epic, unusable. Yep, so again, they were epic in the context of Series 2, but people wanted all of the epics to have endgame potential, so that is something that we're changing for 2021. Perez was best of the rest. Thank you. Yes, that's right, TR the Flash. That puts Perez in good standing to be an epic. Hajduk Split is saying, yeah, Sainz and Ricciardo had the worst epic. Even Grosjean and Magnussen are much better, and they're just common cards. Yep, so that was one of the things about the balance for 2020, is that the series mattered more than the rarity in terms of late game potential. That is something that is being slightly tweaked. TR the Flash says F2 and F3 added would be amazing. Yes, it would. That would be really amazing. There are a lot of really cool drivers in the feeder formula, and it would be good to have them in the game. At the moment, it's looking very challenging to get that. Oh my goodness, so there's a lot of discussion about loadout that I'm just catching up on.
Yeah, it's like I've got like a team of pit engineers behind me, feeding me lots of useful advice.
Oh, my Facebook chat. Yep, it crashed again, so I have to reload. So if I don't answer a question and it's older than something that I'm answering now, then it's probably because I can't see it. Niall McDowell says, can a button be added to switch on and off to see the AI tyres? That's not a bad quality of life improvement. Not sure if we can do anything about that in the short term. Kingsley Amobi says, are Hutch planning to put pit crews in the game? So that is actually something I think we're looking at, but I don't know what the timeline is on that. It would be quite nice to see your pit crew. Jason Seeley asks, any oval tracks in our future? Well, at the moment, there are no oval tracks in F1, so it would be against the authenticity of F1 to have an oval track. As fun as oval racing is, I'm afraid, that's not a thing we can do. Lionel Charlie is asking, how does pit stop time affect qualifying time, please? I think that qualifying time doesn't affect. Sorry, I think the pit stop time doesn't affect qualifying. Ross Spencer asks, can I ask why so many drivers at the minute are not pitting, even when you select pit half a lap before? So a couple of people have asked this during the stream. I believe that if there are some support tickets on it already, then it's being looked into, because I remember whisperings about something similar. But if you're experiencing it, then put a support ticket in, because then that gives us more data. Henrique Motta says it would be awesome if you could play against your friends doing your own championship. So one thing that is coming up, not with the 2021 season update, but in the future, is our clubs feature, which is a set of social features. I can't confirm exactly what will be included in the clubs feature, but there will definitely be some more social aspects to F1 Manager. David Narducci asks when the 2021 season will be. The plan is for mid-May. The date is not exactly confirmed. John Bristow asks, any plans for us to use the same boosts on both drivers? I think that is not planned, since it causes a massive amount of boost consumption for a particular boost. So I'm afraid that that is not planned as far as I'm aware. Joseph Chambers asks, please give us an option to let our drivers work together. Like if I'm running my leader on green and the follower on red, he should just allow him to overtake without blocking him. Yeah, so we do get feedback about this, and we are looking into it as well. I think that is definitely a cool idea, since it can be quite irritating to let your teammates pass one another. But then again, they're very egotistical drivers who are all out for themselves, so who knows? Scott Jones says, once we hit max CC points for money, for coins, do we lose all of the rest of the money, or do we still keep it? So everybody's coins will be wiped off for the new season. It will be converted into CC points, but everyone will start again for the new season with the same amount of coins. How about being able to sell the car parts that we don't want to use for money or tokens to use on things we want to upgrade on our cars? So we do have a system similar to that, which is the asset trading system. Although that only works if you have an asset maxed out. For the most part, being able to sell your parts is a cool idea for sure, but we would prefer to make sure that you have all of the stuff that you've unlocked available to you, so you can make strategic choices. Basit Ali asks, make qualifying manual so managers can have control over it, and as in the real F1, qualifying tyres mandatory to start the race on. So that's not a bad idea at all. One thing about it is, of course, we have fewer compounds to choose from than real F1, and also we don't have multiple qualifying sessions, because the fixed tyres for the top 10 are based on the tyres they use in Q2, not in Q1. And of course, we only have one qualifying session in F1 Manager. It's not a bad plan, but for the most part, of course, it's going to be faster to qualify on softs. And we would rather keep that choice open so that you can do fun things like starting on hards, even if you qualified on the softs. Chad Gonzalez asked, please remove breakdowns. Yep, so you asked this earlier, and I said, yep, the breakdown is relatively rare, and also it doesn't have a massive effect. So provided that you are pitting your drivers relatively regularly, sort of twice-ish per race, it shouldn't have a huge effect. And yeah, it's a random effect, but what you can do to prevent breakdowns is increase your reliability stat by changing the parts.
Josie, absolutely epic scenes in the final race.
Oh wow!
Hamilton
wow, really
picked up a win on the final corner.
That's amazing.
Absolutely textbook. Have you got a pen, by the way? Because I need to get some contracts signed with my new pit team. I don't want to lose them.
Wow, look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you proper did well there, mate. Well done.
Yeah. Pretty happy with that. Looks as if
my eyes don't deceive me,
that's nearly time, isn't it? That's flew.
It's 5 o'clock, right?
I think so. So
Yeah, I
almost
need
time to hand over
sneeze.
to Dimaniac if he's ready. Dimaniac, let us know in the chat if you are ready, so we can hand over to you.
Yep. So I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. Obviously, we have had tons of them, and it's been amazing to get all of your questions. Thank you so much for joining us for this stream over here at F1 Manager. And of course, you can check out the pinned comments on Facebook for the Gleam giveaway, which, when does the Gleam giveaway close, Ian?
I'm going to close it next week on the Monday, so you've got all weekend to get as many entries locked and loaded as you can. And then I'll be contacting winners within a week from the closing date.
Amazing. Yep. So go ahead and enter the Gleam giveaway. And yeah, thanks very much for watching, for all of your questions and for your support. I guess we'll see you in the near future for another round of F1 Manager live streams, eh?
Definitely. We should be back in a couple of weeks' time, and make sure to stick around because we're going to be hosting Darmaniac's F1 Manager live stream straight away afterwards.
Yeah, so if you want to see that, I think you have to head over to twitch.tv/F1 Manager Official for the hosted Twitch live stream from Darmaniac. Is that right?
That is correct, yes. Sorry, I should have said that.
Yep, so head over there and you can see Darmaniac do a much better job at driving fast in F1 Manager than we could ever do. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.